Hey, if you clicked on this video, maybe you're considering doing a yoga retreat in India, but maybe you're still a bit hesitant, wondering about the cost and thinking about whether you should go alone. Well, I did a 1-week Ayurvedic Yoga Retreat in Goa, India, in the heart of beautiful jungle close to the beach, and it cost me $660 with everything included for 2 people. It was my first time going on a fully organized, fully catered retreat, and whether you want to do something like I did, or whether you want to go on a self-organized retreat, I hope this video can be helpful. I'll share what it was like, what it included, the pros, the cons, everything to help you have an idea of what you can expect. I went to India after quite a rough patch in my life where my company laid off a bunch of people. I was very stressed and uncertain about the future, and I just wanted somewhere where I could recharge and rebalance, stay in one place, and just fully get back to being myself again. So India was my destination of choice because of its link to yoga, meditation, Ayurvedic medicine, but I never really go on organized types of holidays, but when I arrived in Arambol, Goa, I started looking on Google Maps for well-rated Airbnbs or homestays that do yoga and Ayurvedic medicine. And one that was really well-rated was Vida 5, and they had this retreat package. You get 3 yoga classes, 3 Ayurvedic meals, and a discount for treatments. Even though that seemed like a really great deal, I was still very hesitant because I don't usually do those organized things, as I mentioned, so I decided to stay for one night, give it a try and see how I like it. And in the end, I stayed there almost 1 week. We started each day at 7 AM with a yoga class, which was followed by a breakfast, either a buffet or a platter with lots of tiny meals so that you could pick whatever you liked. And then there was free time, and then in the afternoon you had different activities organized by Vida 5, such as cooking classes or talks with the doctors, and you could also do your own treatments, massages that you had to book early in advance. And then free time again and another yoga class later in the evening combined with meditation and dinner. And after that, I would usually also take a walk by the beach and admire the sunset. I think here it's worth mentioning that all meals and treatments were based on Ayurvedic medicine. Ayurveda originated in ancient India, and it's this medicinal system that believes in prevention rather than treatment. It also states that there are 3 distinct doshas or body types, and they all have their unique needs. And the purpose of Ayurvedic medicine is to rebalance them to promote well-being. If you are curious about what's your body type and what it entails, I'll link some additional information in the description box. The massages and treatments were not included in the price of the package, but as Vida 5 member, you had a significant discount. So I remember that I paid for every massage, every treatment about $15, and you could pick from obviously a variety of massages, such as Swedish massage or relaxing massage, but there were also more traditional treatments, such as Shirodhara, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, and it involves you lying on your back, and there's this machine that pours oils on your forehead, and it's very, very relaxing, and it promotes better quality sleep. It lessens anxiety, especially if combined with yoga. I did 1 treatment per day, and it just made me really look forward to it every day, and I really felt like I'm progressing with my health. There was also a library at the retreat that had books on topics such as wellness, Ayurvedic medicine, yoga, spirituality, and I felt like that was a very good complementary element to the entire journey. They also had a shop that had products and cosmetics that they made on their own and used. And also at the end of the retreat, you got a gift bag that included some of them. So looking at the costs, there isn't that much to add up. 1 night for 2 people with all meals, all yoga classes was $60, and then every treatment per person was 15, so that's 30. And then you could add the airport transport, that was $30 one way, and then obviously you could spend anything else you want on top of it, but that's totally up to you. So the total cost of a 1-week trip with everything included for 2 people was $660. So one obvious advantage was the value that you get for the money. I've seen a lot of retreats that were organized and a lot more expensive. For instance, they catered to senior professionals or people from the UK, France, Spain, and so on. And maybe they were organized with famous influencers or yoga teachers, I don't know, but they were a lot more expensive, and unfortunately I couldn't afford one like this right now. So I'm really glad this worked out the way it did. And actually, when I did my own self-organized yoga retreat in Ubud, Bali, and I arranged on my own the accommodation, meals, yoga treatments, it ended up costing about the same, the difference being that I had to coordinate everything on my own, and everything was done in different places, which could somehow take away from all this healing experience that I wanted to have. Another thing that I quite liked was the balance between structure and freedom. You could benefit as much from everything organized in the center, but you also had the liberty to do whatever you wanted. For instance, go to the beach, take surfing classes, or even skip yoga if you wanted to. So here it actually came as a bit of a surprise that by day 3, I think, I started to feel a bit uneasy with having so much of a routine and going through the same motions every day. I think nowadays we live in such high pressure environments with so much stimulation that we never have the chance to be bored. Even when you wait for the bus, you can look on your phone, so every moment is filled. That was a bit of an uncomfortable feeling, but I tried to lean into it and embrace it. Also, by the end of the retreat, I took the opportunity to skip some of the Ayurvedic meals and went outside to restaurants with my husband. But I really hope it didn't take away from the entire experience and overall effect. As long as you keep it balanced, I think it will do good for you. I was extremely happy with the quality of all the facilities, food and services. So the retreat center was really well maintained, the rooms were cleaned daily, everything worked perfectly, and the staff were always there to help you, whatever you needed. The yoga classes were really demanding, so that was a good thing. They were also very traditional. The teacher was from Rishikesh, which is the birthplace of yoga. Don't expect maybe a special Spotify playlist or jokes or anything like that, but it was demanding and rewarding. Also, the food was really varied. I never got bored of it, so I think that was very important because obviously the food was quite a big element of the entire healing transformation process. So one thing that I always say is that I appreciate the community element of every experience because I think you can get so much energy from other people and learn from them. And here, the community element did not feel as big as I wanted it to. It felt like everyone was on their own healing journey. Everyone was very kind and respectful, and there was some small talk in between classes, but it wasn't a vibrant, bustling place where people discussed their experiences. It wasn't like that. It felt like everyone had their own journey and we were just respectful of each other's space. So the overall feel and aesthetics of the compound was modern and clean environment, which obviously is great. But me personally, I have to say that I gravitate more towards boho jungle vibes. So if Vida 5 was a bit more like that, I guess it would be one of my favorite places in the world. One final thing that maybe wasn't perfect was the fact that it wasn't always easy to book a treatment whenever you wanted. There was some problem with availability every now and then, so for instance you would need to do a massage in the middle of the day, which maybe wasn't ideal, but later I found that they were missing one staff member when I was there, so maybe that's why. So I was there only 1 week, which I realize is not a lot, but it's all I could do this time. But even though it was just 1 week, I really felt better at the end of it, especially when it comes to my mental state. I felt happier and more relaxed. Overall, I feel that a retreat is a bit of a fast track in terms of well-being, so it gets you the result faster than you would on your own. I think if I tried to do everything the same but at home, it would take me maybe a month or 2 to get to the same place. But at the same time, I think a retreat only makes sense if you stick to the good habits that you built and good practices once you're back from it. So much of this uplift and positivity that allowed me to survive a very stressful time with less of a mental damage than I would have otherwise. Some people ask me if I lost weight. Well, I did not, but also that was not the purpose of my retreat. But that said, every time I ate something, I felt like it was very much benefiting my health and my mood. It was really good. But maybe if you're not used to 100% vegetarian diet, that could be a bit of a challenge at the beginning. It could make you feel a bit bloated, so maybe it can take a couple of days to ease into it. But again, not necessarily, that's an individual thing. So overall, I'm really happy with the experience that I had, and especially the impact that it had on my physical and mental state. I also read online that Vita 5 is in top 1% of retreats worldwide according to TripAdvisor, so that really comes as no surprise to me because they really did everything they could to make it as nice as possible. Thank you so much for watching. I hope some of it was helpful. If you still have any questions, please let me know. I hope that wherever you go, whether you stay at home, you will be able to do something that benefits your well-being. Thank you. Oh, one more thing before I go. If you are considering a retreat in Bali, check out my Ubud guide.